Hey guys, this is Shaw from GuitarSkills.com, and in this week's lesson I want to address one of our premium members' questions. So we've had Chris write in asking about his first finger vibrato. So he says that my timing goes off if I devote energy away from refretting and positioning my hand. Third finger is easier, first finger is just harder. What do you think? Well, I think what Chris is saying here is that whenever, let's just double check the fingers again. Third finger is easier, yes. So if you have to do vibrato on the third finger, that's easier for him than using the first finger. And I can understand what he's mentioning there with having to refret to be able to always use vibrato on the third finger. Well, Chris, the main thing is that you definitely want to shoot for being able to do vibrato ideally with any of the fingers. Maybe the pinky not so much, depending on what style you play. But if you're going to play blues, the two fingers you're going to use most of the time will be fingers 1 and 3, and it's good to be able to do vibrato with the second finger as well. So in this video, I just want to give you a couple of pointers as it relates to getting comfortable with vibrato. The main thing is, and you used a great word in your email talking about energy, because really we need to be energy efficient when we play, because if we use too much energy or force, we are just wasting a lot of precious energy, so to speak. So if you, even the way that you fret the notes, so many times people fret it really hard, you can actually allow yourself to ease up on the fretting a lot, and the same with the vibrato. So the first thing there that I'd like to address is you actually need less energy than what you might think in order to get good vibrato. So if you're going to play a minor pentatonic scale in the key of A, for example, all the notes on the 5th fret, whenever you play a lick, that's going to have to be played vibrato with the first finger. And then the third finger take care of the other notes. Now, sometimes when you play, for example, if you play major scales, you're going to need the other fingers to apply vibrato as well. So let's give a couple of pointers. Number one, just have an awareness that it actually takes less energy and less effort to get vibrato than what you're currently using, because just as guitarists, we tend to use way more than what's really needed. So secondly, when you play vibrato, you want to make sure that your hand is relaxed, but just get it in a place where you can perform that rapid variation in pitch quite comfortably. So it's almost like shaking your hand a little bit, but if you just shake it the right way, then you can keep shaking it for a long time. It's not going to, you know, cause you any hassles there. So what I'm doing there is, as soon as I play, let's just say on the 1st fret, the first finger here, I just find a position that's comfortable, and then I rock my hand up and down. So someone like Eric Clapton, he would not use his thumb over here, but what I'm showing you right now is just to put your thumb on the neck as a way to anchor the hand and then just do the rocking from there. Now, another cool exercise is when you do, say, the A minor pentatonic scale on one string, and then do all those notes with a vibrato with the first finger, because you just need to get the muscle memory, just the muscle memory kind of get for the first finger, get it used to playing this vibrato here. So you see, I use my first finger going up, and then my my third finger going down with the A minor pentatonic scale on the G string, for example. So that's the first tip I want to give you. Secondly, experiment with the types of vibrato. You might have like a real subtle vibrato like this. Or you can have more of a wilder vibrato like this. So go to both extremes and kind of feel what that feels like for your hand. And then from there, you can kind of dial back the amount of energy that you use and effort that you use to play this vibrato. Now, the second type of vibrato is when you don't, or the second way of playing vibrato is when you don't use your thumb on the neck, like this. And that requires a lot more control because now you don't have your thumb to anchor. You literally have to hold onto the string and make sure that that vibrato works. You can still do the same thing, just play the single notes. So that is it for first finger vibrato. You'll just have to, experiment and practice a little bit. Even if you want to practice with all, well, you just use your different fingers for the minor pentatonic scale. And do it across all the strings. So it's just going to take a bit of time. But what I've shown you now is I've shown you how to play vibrato across the neck with one scale. I've shown you how to do it across all the different kinds of strings in a vertical fashion. I've shown you how to do like tone back, like just a little bit more of a subtle, relaxed vibrato, going all the way to like a real intense vibrato, and then showed you how to use different fingers to play the vibrato. And the main thing that you want to go for there, vibrato is really there, it's kind of the soul of your playing. Like if you listen to a guy like Stevie Ray Vaughan versus B.B. King, they can play one note, and in the way that they use vibrato, I will be able to tell, and most people will be able to tell which guitarist is which, just because that is really where, it's kind of interesting that that's your fingerprint. No one's fingerprints are the same, and in the same way, no one's vibrato is the same. So I just want to encourage you with that. Just go and spend a bit of time to make sure that you get that first finger up to speed as well. And when you play, try and go for that lyrical quality in your playing, because that's why people love players like Eric Clapton, Stevie Ray Vaughan, B.B. King. All these guys, they don't just play the guitar and play a bunch of crazy licks, even though they, of course, do those as well, but they make the guitar sing. And one of the ways that you make your guitar sing is by paying attention to the way vocalists sound and try and emulating that, because that is where the vibrato comes in, and that is where you can get your distinct sound to come through on the guitar and start adding your particular voice. So I hope that's been helpful. Let's just recap the tips. You don't have to use as much energy or effort than you think for anything on the guitar, for that matter, specifically vibrato. Secondly, practice your vibrato with all the fingers on one string with the different notes. Go from a subtle vibrato to a wilder vibrato, if you will. And then thirdly, go and practice vibrato across all the different strings as well. So go from your thin strings to your thick string. Practice vibrato without having the thumb anchored to the neck to kind of do the Clapton vibrato. And then finally, you just have to put in the time and make sure that you work on that, because over time, those muscles that perform that specific function, which is really bending the string rapidly by changing the pitch, that's going to get stronger and will allow you to play vibrato with more confidence and conviction, so to speak. All right, Chris, so there you go. I hope this has been helpful. And if you have any other questions, feel free to send them in and I'll shoot a video response for you right here in the studio. All right, guys, have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video.